Today I'm going to be discussing an event and a topic that has been all over the news outlets for the past two weeks or 1 week. I'm not sure. A guy by the name of George Floyd in Minneapolis has been killed by a white police officer. The reasons why he was arrested on that day are irrelevant now because he has tragically passed away and was killed. What people don't know about is how the racism and how the police department, especially in Minneapolis, have been so corrupt over the years that people have yet to get or understand on why people are the way they are around police officers. I have a book and I'm going to discuss each and every one of the murders that have actually happened during 2 months ago and recently now. Um, but but these are the murders that's been happening now. I'm gonna start from George Floyd and of course go all the way down and give you guys my thoughts. But before I do that, I want to make sure everyone knows that when it comes to the protests, I'm all for it. The protests are actually a good thing. When it comes to protesting, I feel like that should be one of the things that we should do. If you want to protest, then go ahead. I support it 100%. Because, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, protesting is the voice of the unheard. Black people have been unheard for many, many of years. As you can see from that picture right there, that's a protest. We are fighting the good fight, but in the end, we never get what we want. We never get justice. Some people might get settlements and all that stuff, but still, what does it matter? What does it matter to us? A life is gone. Another predominantly black man, black woman, black LGBT, or black child, whichever one, any of them, they're gone. And people always say that, what about the good cops and everyone else? I mean, I understand. I understand that not every police officer is evil or bad. There are some good police officers out there. And I applaud them for doing their job the right way. But for now, where is the good cop? Where was the good cop when Tamar Rice was shot and killed point blank for having a quote unquote gun, which was a fake airsoft gun, by the way? Where was the good cop where Eric Gardner was choked to death? Where was the good cop when Alton Sterling was shot in front of a gas station for selling DVDs and CDs, which gas stations still do to this day? Where is the good cop where Oscar Grant was shot at Fruitvale Station? Where are all the good cops in that story? In all those stories over the years. Oh yeah, here's another one. Where was the good cop when George Zimmerman was told not to pursue Trayvon Martin after the operators told him not to pursue him? He still went and did it anyway. And you guys know the rest of the story. What is the morals? What do you have to show for that? Nothing. Nothing but injustice and anything. So when it comes to these riots, riot the fuck out. Looting is a different story. Now I can understand some of the looting, but then again I don't at the same time. Because the looting, some of these lootings are getting out of hand. And like what other people are saying on social media, don't destroy black businesses. That is true. There was a man who had a bar and they tore it down and he burned it down and he was upset. He was crying, like red, bloodshot eyes crying. Now, I understand your frustration, but I'm telling you, to all you people who are watching this video, don't loot for smaller companies. You can loot AutoZone, Target, Walmart, McDonald's, whatever store that's Name brand has a big ass sign, whatever. Those are $1 billion companies. But for small businesses like that guy's bar, it's gonna take a while just for it to get back up. And just think of how long it was for them just to get that own business up in the first place. Luckily, he did do a GoFundMe and he's getting the funds to rebuild his bar. And like the comedian Davey Ruffin said, don't destroy black communities because the government isn't going to fund that stuff anymore. And we got to pay it from our own pocket. Riot hell, riot all you want, but choose where you loot. Or just don't loot at all. I'm starting to see that some looters aren't even with the protest. They're just going there to steal shit. And if you don't support the protest and just want to loot, then fuck you. Just fuck you. Anyways, sorry. Gotta look through this. Because there are many other people than George Floyd that was killed. And I made a list. Of course, everybody knows about Ahmaud Arbery, who was killed in broad daylight by a former cop and his son. They killed him for what? They thought he was a thief? Why would a thief be in jogger shorts, probably some Reeboks, or a jogging shirt? Why would he try to loot? Why would he try to rob? And you know how stupid this is? The recorder of the video was charged with murder. I heard from another source that the person who recorded the video of the modern day lynching of Ahmaud Arbery was charged with murder for some apparent reason. I don't understand. Of course, I went to George Floyd, said I couldn't breathe. 4 cops were apparent. The cops were fired, of course, because that usually happens in once in a blue moon because cops aren't really fired. They're on suspended or paid leave, whatever one, but no, these guys were fired. The cop's address was leaked, and he has 2 addresses too. And his wife left him. Filed for divorce. And Anonymous, the hackers, if you guys remember them, came back from a whole hiatus and is planning to expose all of Minneapolis Police Department's corruption. Because they are so corrupt, it's not even funny. Like, they do so many other killings of innocent people, it's not even funny. Even at the University of Minnesota, they said they're no longer having that police department at their games. That's how bad it is. Here's also another one that you guys didn't know. If you guys don't know, there was a lady that was killed. She was black, named Breonna Taylor. She was shot and killed in her own home. She was an EMT. A person who risked their own lives to make sure our lives was safe and okay due to this coronavirus that's still happening. That's another topic for another day. 3 cops came to her house in unarmed vehicles. Those those vehicles that look like police vehicles even though they're not, have all the stuff around it? Basically that. They thought that the suspect they were looking for was in this house. But the problem with that is the suspect lived on the other side of town and he was already in custody. So the boyfriend and Breonna Taylor were both inside. The cops forced their way in and shot They just started shooting and it shot Breonna Taylor. It boggles my mind that they just took a EMT, a fucking EMT, a person who literally is going to their jobs every day, risking their lives, risking their life just to help us. People like me. People like the president. Well, I'm sorry, not the president. Just white, black, white, Hispanic. She was risking her life to save ours. This cop culture has to die. It has to end. It has to die, whatever it needs to do. And Trump is not doing a damn thing. He's just hiding in his bunker. And now he's out here in the streets, and right now, we can't rely on him. We can't rely on the government anymore. Sometimes we just gotta rely on us. This world is a dangerous place. It is dangerous. It'll chew you up, spit you out, beat you down, whatever. This is my message to everyone. People of color, stand up for what is right. Follow this painting. Follow this painting's example. As much as it looks rugged and all that stuff, it's still standing. If this painting can still stand up after all these years that we had it, so can us. We've been through worse. No, we haven't. The worst is yet to come. Always. We've been dealing with this for many, many years. And we still are. It's time to change. It's time to change, America. That's all we can do. I apologize that this wasn't the video that I intended to upload, but this has it's taken a toll on me. I've been thinking about it over the past week, and I thought my opinion had to be heard. Stand up for what is right.